Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you directly after a loss to the Detroit Pistons, final 99-98. Very close game, very hard fought, all the way down to the very end. A wild finish in this one, and honestly, I think this is the most disappointing outcome of a game I can remember in a long time. But it's different than I've ever been disappointed. Quite honestly, I wanted this game so badly for the Hawks because they tried and played so hard in this game. And I wanted the win for them just because of how hard they worked for it. And sadly, we came up just a little short. I really enjoyed our format from last game, and I think that I'm going to give it some more tries and see what people think, see what comments I get. So, again, we're going to go over my overarching thoughts on the Hawks offense and defense, then go to my overarching thoughts on the Pistons offense and defense, and then I'm going to give some general takeaways. We'll go player by player for what all we think of how each player played, and then I have some, I'm not going to do awards today. I'm trying to do it a little bit differently, but I'm going to give some overall thoughts of, I thought this player would play our best, I thought this player was the best player on their team, that sort of thing. Kind of give an MVP to both squads. So, let's get started. We'll start with the Hawks defense. The defense was absolutely sensational. I would not have asked for anything to be different. The rotations were fantastic. The hands were active. We were causing havoc all over the floor. This three-man post rotation of Mo, Jalen, and Onyeka lends itself insanely well to playing up to touch, to switching everything, and to causing havoc at a very high rate. And when you add on to that the havoc creation of players like Dyson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the defense is really, really good. And in part, it's because it allows other players to not have to work as hard every play. Right? When Mo and Onyeka and Naw are on the floor together and they're kind of sealing up all the defense, well then all Veit has to worry about is don't let this one guy score. He doesn't have to worry about moving, he doesn't have to worry about really anything else. And it's really working out well that the last two games, Veit has played better defense. Kennard has played a little bit better on defense. Keaton has been playing pretty well on defense. Tonight, they had, again, a smaller sized player in Dennis Jenkins, and Kennard and Keaton, every time he got on the floor, he was guarding that small guy, and that's all he had to worry about. That's kind of what we're able to do. And again, we held one of the best teams in the league. The Detroit Pistons are first in the Eastern Conference. We held them to 99 points in this basketball game. Now, it was so good defensively, but we lost this game on the defensive glass. If you look at the total team stats, we got destroyed in the rebounding department. They had 60 total team rebounds. We had 34. And a lot of that was giving up offensive rebounds and second chance points. We struggle right now to gain rebound, and that is the issue, is that it's not a gang rebounding. It is one player, two players. Go back and watch the film. When Detroit sees a shot go up, offense or defense, they scurry to the rim. And there's 4 or 5 guys around the rim. And I know that Zach is being told, run. That Jalen is being told, run. That Mo is being told, run. And I do completely understand that. But against a team like Detroit, with Duren and Isaiah Stewart and Holland and Thompson and just big player after big player after big player who all are very aggressive at getting offensive rebounds. You need all hands on deck. You had to fight like a fist. And that, to me, is where we fell short tonight. And that's the reason we lost, was because of the defensive rebounding. If we had rebounded better, we would have given up even fewer points, because that is how good the defense was tonight. Just in terms of communication and movement and everything, I saw one breakdown all night long, and it was Zach. He got beat on a back cut one time. If you play an entire game against the best team in the Eastern Conference record-wise this year, and you have one defensive lapse for the entire game, that is a miraculous defensive output. And that's what we put on film today. Now we have to rebound better. To make it where that defensive possession where we just played amazing matters. There were so many possessions where we played an amazing defensive possession. They shoot it, they miss. And if we got the rebound, that's an amazing defensive possession. But we didn't get the rebound. And then they just get an easy little putback. And to me, that is a travesty. I get so upset because I see us play such amazing defense. And then I see us just push it away. It'll go poof because the rebounding was so bad. So moving forward, continue this defensive intensity, rebound a little better on the defensive end, especially from our guards and forwards who are not our bigs, because our bigs are down there getting rebounds. So everybody, all hands on deck, all five guys are fighting for rebounds, fight like a fist. Moving to the offense, this is kind of what I was saying last game about not loving the Jalen heliocentric offense. When you have a team that's really, 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 really good defensively, like Detroit is, it will not go well. We will not score very many points because he is a great player. And you saw tonight a few times where he got put into the secondary, play finisher, secondary passer role, where he sets a screen, catches it, throws a secondary pass off the short roll to Dyson Daniels for a dunk, throw a lob to Onyeka for a dunk. That's the stuff that he needs to be doing. He's very, 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 very good at that. But when he has the ball in his hands all the time, people like Asar, people like Ron Holland, they're going to attack that dribble. And he's too big to have a great handle. I know he is an amazing handle for a player his size. He really does. But when you are that tall, the ball takes longer to travel from where your hand is to the floor and back up to your hand. That's just the way it works. And so to me, I don't like having the ball in a player's hand who's 6'10". all the time. I don't like having the ball in those players' hands because the dribble just takes too long. It's too easy to attack it. And so I prefer to have my players that are that size in the secondary creation, play finisher role. That's the reason I really like Jalen in that role, is because he is super skilled. He is such a great passer. He is super willing, but he's just not a primary initiator in the skill of the game. And that's what we struggled with tonight. And so that then led to us only scoring 98 points. Again, this is a wonderful defensive team, but only 98 points is rough. It was an offensive failure and it was a defensive rebounding failure in today's game that led to the loss. And that you could say, oh, just had tired legs and didn't shoot, blah, 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 blah. I don't really believe that that's the truth, because I believe there's always things you can glean from your process, no matter how tired your team was. And so I think that right now we're being forced into playing this process because we do not have Trey. But to people who want to move to this to be our full-time thing, to get rid of Trey and have this be our full-time, this is what we run with, this is what it looks like when a great defensive team can attack Jalen Johnson's dribble. That to me is concerning. Moving to Detroit. Their offense drastically struggled tonight, And majority of the time, that was because of Dyson Daniels' impact on Cade Cunningham. Now, Cade had a wonderful end to the game, but Dyson was able to make his night kind of miserable. I have here his stats. He had 18 points on 15 shots. When you can hold their best player to that kind of efficiency, you're doing a very, very, very good job. Dyson was fantastic tonight on defense. He makes plays that only he could make. You know, Dyson's little brother is in the draft this year. And everybody always says, well, Dash Daniels, he's Dyson. I like Dash. No one is Dyson Daniels. He is awesome. And no player in the history of basketball has made the kind of plays he makes on defense. So saying he's Dyson Daniels is putting an unfair expectation on Dash Daniels. And so their offense struggled majority of the time because their star was struggling. That's the problem with their offense, and that's kind of the problem with the way we play around Trey, is because they built their team exactly the same way we did. They have a great on-ball primary guy. We have a great on-ball primary guy. The rest of their players play defense and aren't very good at offense. The rest of our players play defense and aren't very good at offense. Now, the difference is that we have a Jalen. But their difference is that they have a Jalen Duren. And so far this year, he has been awesome. Tonight, the difference maker that won them the game was Jalen Duren. We couldn't box him out. We couldn't stop him. We couldn't get around him. He played really, really, really great. And he was the catalyst for their win, honestly. And so I am hoping that we can mimic that on nights when Trey is not going well, which will happen. He's a human being. Everybody has this happen. On nights where that's the case, Jalen Johnson just steps in. He scores a bunch of points, and we win the game because we had a Jalen. We need our team to play very similarly to the way Detroit is playing, and we're watching Detroit literally be the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. So it is possible. Moving to their defense, they are long. They are super long. And they keep just getting longer. It's actually kind of funny watching their decision making and things like that, where they're like, oh, well, we could keep Malik Beasley, but Karis LeVert is longer than him. So we'll just get Karis LeVert. We could keep Tim Hardaway Jr., or we could just play Ron Holland because he's longer and he's more athletic and he's a better defender. Every decision they've made is moving towards this long athletic guy. And it's actually making it where Ivy is not playing very often. Jaden Ivey did not play a ton tonight. And it's because he doesn't fit in to that mold. He's not the defensive player Asor is or Ron Holland is. Even like Dennis Jenkins is way more adept on defense and long and is more of a shooter, and he kind of works beside Cade more. This is the kind of stuff. Isaiah Stewart is super long and huge. Jalen Duren is super long and huge. They are not going to play a player at this point who is not super long and super huge on defense that's not named Cade Cunningham, and he's pretty big to be a point guard. That is the way I would like to see us move, honestly. I've talked about it, but I would love for next year our three guards to be Trey, Dyson, and Naw. In the draft, I would like us to draft a long player. I'll give the example of Cameron Boozer right now. He's like 6'10", 6'11", super long, super athletic, super big and strong. So then I would have the rest of the players who play be Zach, Jalen, Mo, Onyeka, Asa Newell, and Cam Boozer. And you sit there and say, other than our three guards, we have our three guards, and then every other player is just long freak athlete. I think that would work really well because Trey can make the offense click. And Quinn Snyder's scheme is movement-based enough that we could make the offense work. But the defense would be insane. And that's what we're seeing from Detroit right now, is their defense is insane. Moving to the player-by-player, going to move pretty fast through the bench here. Starting off, Keaton Wallace played 16 minutes. He didn't score. He had 2 rebounds, but he had 5 assists. Again, those point guard reads are getting so much better, and it's making it where Keaton is very serviceable on the floor. He was -6, but it was mostly that lineup that's Veet, Kennard, and Keaton that was getting run off the floor. That led to all 3 of those players having a negative plus-minus. Next, we'll talk about Veet Krejci. Veet played 17 minutes. He had 3 points on 1 of 4 from 3. He had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. He was -5. Veet, his shooting has come down to earth a little bit. He is still like top 3 in the NBA in shooting percentage from 3, but he just threw a little cold spell right now. I think it's going to be fine. The shot still looks awesome, but when he's not shooting well, it lowers his value a lot. Next, we'll talk about Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard had 17 minutes, 5 points on 6 shots, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 1 rebound and 3 assists, but was -15. Again, that's what it looks like when you have this three-headed snake of bad defenders on the floor. You can't keep it up. And that was what lost us the game. Playing that lineup is what lost us the game. Because that was a lot of the times where we couldn't get rebounds. Because we got 3 tiny guys trying to get rebounds. Next, we'll talk about Mo Gay. Mo played 23 minutes, good number of minutes. He had 1 point on 0 of 3 from the field. He missed 2 dunks in tonight's game. That was pretty rough. He had 1 rebound and ended the game -2. His defense is so good, and his offense is still a struggle. I love him a lot. He had 3 steals and 1 block in tonight's game. He was everywhere. He was a madman on defense. I think he still deserves a lot of minutes, but I just wish he was more aggressive. And when he is aggressive, it's only when it's like blatantly obvious that he should be aggressive. I just wish that he would say, I'm 6'11", and I'm big and strong, and I'm not going to try anything fancy. I'm just going to attack. And if the defense stops me, then I'll pass it to somebody. But if they don't, then I'll shoot. He seems to never have that kind of click in his brain of like, I'm allowed to attack. Unless he catches it and he's wide open and he's like, I can put the ball on the floor and try to go dunk. That doesn't always work because then the defense adjusts. You have to kind of make something happen every once in a while. You have to be a guarded player. And so that's what I want to see from Mo. But the defense is so thermonuclear good that I would love to see him continue to play this kind of minutes no matter who's playing, no matter who's healthy. He, right now, I mentioned to somebody today, I said, I think that if he played starters minutes, he would win Defensive Player of the Year. He's that kind of defender. You might call me crazy, but that's what I believe. Moving to the starters, Zach played 22 minutes. He only had 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting. The shot's still been pretty rough since coming back from injury. He had 1 rebound and 1 assist, and the defense was awesome. Zach finished the game at +8, tied for the best plus-minus on the team. He's just really good. I don't know any other way to really put it. I know he's not shooting the ball well. I don't care. He's playing very, very well. And he needs to play more. He only played 22 minutes in tonight's game. Just play him more. He's really playing well. Moving to Dyson Daniels. Dyson had 37 minutes on 10 points on 14 shots, 5 of 14 from the field, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and was +8 in the game. Again, the defense was insanely good. The offense at times was insanely bad. Efficiency was horrible. He missed bunnies. His 3-point shot is really concerning with the way it looks. I don't know when the last time Dyson didn't either make the shot or when it didn't hit off the front rim and come back. Something about him shooting, he's like short arming it or alligator arming it, or he's trying to like guide the ball, but it really looks uncomfortable, and it's always short. Every single shot he shoots is short. We've got to get him shooting with confidence. He's got to be confident in his shot. Moving on to Onyeka Okongwu. Onyeka had 20 points in 36 minutes on 18 shots, 2 of 9 from 3, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 turnovers. He was -3 in the game. Onyeka struggled handling Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren played fantastic. He's a really good player. And quite honestly, they attacked his jump shot in a way that nobody has yet in this season. And you could tell it made Onyeka uncomfortable. They would not let him get an open shot. And he made a few, but with a guy flying at you, it's a much different task to make a jumper than if there's no guy flying at you. Especially NBA athletes like the Pistons have. That guy flying at you is making a difference. And so that was interesting to see. But overall, I thought Onyeka played very, very well. Next, we'll talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He had 35 minutes, 26 points on 19 shots, 6 of 10 from 3, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, and was +4. The defense was great. The efficiency from 3 was great. The efficiency overall was pretty good. He scored a lot of points. He played really well. He helped keep us in this game. He's been playing super well, and he is either going to be going, when Trey comes back, he's probably going to be the best reserve in all of basketball. And so far, he has been the best free agent signing and probably the best player who's changed teams, because even Durant is not playing like Nah is playing right now. I mean, he's playing fantastic. And it's all been kind of catalyst. The catalyst of it all has been him taking those shots that he needs to take and turning away the shots that he doesn't need to take. He's played extraordinarily well, and I'm very happy to see him playing this way with this much confidence. And lastly, Jalen Johnson. He had 38 minutes. That's on the back of a night where he played 45. This number of minutes is starting to worry me in terms of injury. You can't play a player as much as we're playing Jalen and him not get hurt. That happens to every player. So I would like to see us make some changes with that. Jalen had 29 points on 17 shots, 4 of 8 from 3, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 turnovers, and 5 fouls. He was +6 in the game. Quite honestly, Jalen, again, is playing like an MVP caliber player. He kept us in this game. The defense was pretty okay. The overall floor game was amazing. He's a great passer. He does a lot of stuff. I do not like him as a primary engine. I talked about that earlier, but I think he'll be even better when he's playing in that secondary creating role. So, overarching thoughts, again, we need a defensive rebound better. I'm a little sad that we lost this game because I really appreciated the effort. I thought it's one of the hardest games I've ever seen us play. And we fit into this really defensive, kind of gritty mindset that we don't usually play with. In terms of my MVPs for the two teams, my MVP for the Hawks is going to go to Jalen. He played fantastic. He is such a good player, and I'm really excited to see him continue to grow. And for the Pistons, I'm going to give it to Jalen Duren. I thought he was by far and away their best player tonight, and that is a testament to how great Dyson was on Cade, because Cade is so good. He's also in the MVP conversation, but Dyson made him a normal human tonight. And then, of course, Jalen Duren picked up the slack and led them to a win. Moving forward, we have, again, 2 weeks-ish before we know if Trey will be coming back. Our next game is on Wednesday versus the Clippers. The Clippers are pretty bad this season. It's kind of surprising. So hopefully we can get a win. It's still going to be a hard-fought game. They're a veteran team. They're going to fight. And so I would like to see us come out of there with a great win and continue to improve this record, continue to improve our place and standing in the Eastern Conference, and just keep the trajectory going up and up as Trey comes back. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about tonight's game. Let me know if you think if we're better playing the rotations we've been playing right now, or maybe when KP comes back. I keep talking about how I really love the allocations we're going with right now. Let me know your thoughts on all the things I talked about today. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and above all else, I hope you have a great day.